Well, hello there, Cancer. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are doing your February 2025 reading. We'll take a look first at the overall energy, and then we'll go to the tarot for more details. So let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you. Spider Spirit, make your dreams real. Yeah, Cancer, there's an energy here of really, you know how a spider will work really diligently on their web. And if something comes along and knocks the web down, or the rain comes and destroys the web or whatever, it doesn't matter. The spider gets right back out there and starts working on it again. And I feel like you may be going through a little bit of a spell here where you may be feeling as though you're working hard, but you're not getting the web completed, right? Or you get it almost completed and then something distracts you or something happens to what you are working on. This is letting you know that you have the resilience, the perseverance. It's a little bit of that Nine of Wands energy, understanding, yes, you have been working hard on something, but it's not about walking away from the web. It's not about walking away from what you're working on, but staying with it because it is going to pay off for you. Yeah, things are going to get easier. So there's a little bit of an energy here where things may be a little bit tough at this time, right? It just seems like, oh my goodness, one step forward, two steps back. But with in the flow, everything is smooth sailing. And I think that this could be your January energy, right? But this beautiful divine feminine energy where everything seems to start going your way is what you can expect in February. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, connection. Stay connected with others, nature, and the universe. Understanding that when you allow yourself to stay connected, especially to your spirit guides, your angels, right? Your loved ones, people in your life that do support you, when you stay in that energy, your vibration, you're vibrating at a higher level, so things will move more fluidly for you. The things will happen so much better. And I feel like for some of you, this could be about a connection. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be family, friend. It just, the sense of you could have felt like maybe over the holidays or in January, like your connections were just off. Yeah, because look, here is your first card out. It's almost like you are wanting, either you are seeking these kind of connections. Once again, it doesn't have to be romantic with the kindred partnership, but it can. But it's just an energy of I want to feel more connected to people, and just feeling as though that hasn't been able to happen in a while. But look at what you have. Happy success. Things are on the up. Things are going to get better, so much better. So let's see. Yeah, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness, this is going in such a lovely direction. Yeah, whatever you've kind of been struggling with, maybe in a certain connection or a group of connections. Yeah, this is the energy of understanding something had to come down, okay? So there could be some connections in your life that maybe certain people or situations left your life, okay, with the Tower. I don't think that this is right now. This is the energy of what has kind of happened. Understanding that something had to be taken down the way it was at that time because it wasn't built on a solid foundation, right? It does not mean that this person or this situation is gone forever, but it is understanding that what you perhaps built with this person or this group of people had to come down so that you could rebuild it in a much more foundation, a much stronger foundation. Okay, so the Tower comes in when we have built things, okay, that are not built on what is really true and in alignment with who we are and what it is that our heart truly desires, right? So sometimes that can mean that we're in connections, right, where either we're giving too much or we're expecting too much from other people, you know, or a sense of codependency. Something has to change or else the whole building will come down. And I think that you have already experienced that. And now it's a sense of, okay, I want to go forward. I want to rebuild my web, right? My connections to others. I want to rebuild that, but I want to build it in a much more, you know, a deeper sense, a sense of deep connection, instead of something that maybe was a little bit more shallow or transactional. They're saying transactional, right? So it could have been, okay, you could have been in a relationship where it was like, okay, I do this for you, you did this for me, right? Kind of a little bit more transactional. Yeah, there's something here. I feel like you're wanting something that is long term. So the Wheel of Fortune is coming in, telling you, yeah, changes are on the horizon, in order to bring you relationships that aren't going to crumble when, you know, this is kind of what you have experienced in the past, are connections that when things got tough, people may have left your life, right? They didn't stick around. There wasn't a mutual love and admiration and respect for each other. You could have had a lot of that for somebody else, but maybe they didn't have that for you. You could have been all in, but perhaps the people or this person was not all in. This is you, right? Oh my goodness, we have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and then the Hierophant, right? Understanding, and then your energy, the Chariot energy coming in. Understanding that what has occurred in the past, even though you may be anxious about this, right? Concerned, kind of like trying to figure it out, figure out maybe what you could have done differently, or wishing things had gone differently, whatever it is. It's kind of like allowing yourself to say, whatever you experienced in that situation occurred so that you could be more discerning, perhaps, with who you attract in, or making sure that you're building a strong foundation in your relationships instead of kind of like jumping in or allowing other people to jump in. Right? Sometimes we're willing to go slow, but we may encounter somebody that wants to take a relationship quickly, or you could have in the past kind of like, and once again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but kind of like gone all in at a much earlier stage than the relationship was ready for. So this is you allowing yourself to move forward, to build, either rebuild. There is a little bit of energy here with the Spider of rebuilding past connections, but understanding it has to move forward in a different way, right? It's kind of like what they're saying is like the spider, right? If the spider was building a web in a corner, say the spider was building a web in a corner, and every time it got close to finishing the web, right? A big breeze would come and knock it down, right? And so the spider builds it the same way again. And then another breeze comes and blows it down or destroys it or harms it, right? And then the spider does that again. It's kind of like understanding, okay, what is the pattern? The spider eventually is going to figure out, okay, well, the corner that I'm trying to build this web in is in a place where the breeze can come and destroy it. So perhaps the spider is going to either move the location of the web, which would mean, okay, I'm moving on and finding new people to build with, or the spider is going to change the way that he's building the web, right? Altering it somehow, he's attaching it to the foundation or whatever, the walls, right? Or creating perhaps more, I don't know what these are called, layers to it or something like that. Understanding that when we have those patterns of things occurring in our life, it's about taking a look at that and asking ourselves, what part have we played in it? Okay, what part have you played in perhaps relationships that have come down, and especially with the Tower, perhaps suddenly, okay, out of the blue, people may have left your life. So it's about understanding, are you attracting in the same kind of people? So building the web in the same way, in the same corner over and over again? Or are you allowing yourself to take a look at how can I change the way that I am building my connections with people, right? If I don't have a strong foundation, then the first wind that comes by is going to take down the connection. Yeah, so your challenge right now is that you do want a relationship where you can co-create. It's kind of like, I feel like you feel like I'm a spider and I'm building this web all by myself. I want other people to build the web with. And that could be with your spirit guides and angels, but it's also this sense of wanting a connection to build with, right? But what's holding you back is the pain of what has occurred in the past. It's allowing yourself to say, what was the lesson that I learned in that, right? What part did you play in that? Yeah, because I feel like what you're doing, you have the Emperor. Wow, you have a lot. It is about allowing yourself to drop the expectations of what it is that you want in connections, okay? So you could have, it's kind of like the spider is saying, no, this is the corner that I want to have my web in, and this is exactly the way that I want it to go, and the wind has to change. Okay, and I'm kind of exaggerating there, but it is a little bit about saying, okay, wait a minute. Why am I thinking that love has to look a certain way, or especially family with the Ten of Cups here? We do kind of have family energy here. Why do I want other people in my life to show up in a certain way? Perhaps I'm expecting something from them that they can't give me, or perhaps it is about allowing myself to not feel like something about controlling, right? Allowing yourself to feel as though you don't have to, perhaps either you have wanted to control relationships, or you have attracted in people that have wanted to control them. There's something about allowing yourself to see, I have to do this differently so that I don't continue to experience the same pain. There's a little bit of energy here of, I'm going to actually pull a card on this, because there's a little bit of energy here about allowing people, universal wisdom. And it says the universe is full of wisdom, seek its guidance, and then understanding. Understanding is the key to deep connections. Yeah, there's something here about perhaps there haven't been deep conversations about why the web has fallen apart, right? The key to healing this situation, or the key to building strong relationships, foundations in the future, is there's something here about surface, right? It could be that the spider is kind of like, well, I want my web to look a certain way, right? So it's not necessary. It has to look a certain way. I can totally relate. Okay, I taught at this one school, and it was a beautiful school. I mean, just gorgeous. It was a gorgeous school. But it wasn't functional at all. The classrooms were just not, they were beautiful, but they were not designed for teaching, right? The hallways, the stairwells, everything. It was built to look beautiful, but it was totally non-functional as far as teaching, as far as learning, as far as moving students around the building. It just, nobody had thought about that. And I feel like there's a little bit of that energy here about you may be wanting a relationship to look a certain way. You know, the happy family, happy home, no problems, we're all getting along, blah, 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 right? But understanding that that's all surface level. right? That's what it looks like. Now that we are, and that's a little bit of Pluto and Capricorn energy. We're out of that. We're definitely into this Aquarius energy, understanding that relationships need a deeper connection in order to last the test of time. And the reason and the way we get to that is having deeper conversations, understanding each other, being vulnerable enough for you to share your feelings with others and for others to be able to share their feelings with you. Having these deep conversations is the key to a solid foundation. It's a little bit about not living in relationships with putting a smile on your face and not saying what you're feeling, or putting your head in the sand and pretending something isn't right with the web, right? This is kind of like allowing those deep conversations to happen. Because if you do, look at what you have. You have the happy, and the grateful, right? Whether this is a web that you want to rebuild with somebody, or you are looking for new webs to build with new people, it is about allowing yourself, right, to really have a sense of gratitude for the connection, nurturing it from this sense of joy, and allowing yourself to have the strength and the courage to have these deep conversations, right? Not sometimes, when we get into, it's so funny because look, you have friendship, but it's in reverse. They're showing me this. The thing is that in your connections, you, even in family connections or romantic connections, you may have had a little bit of a wanting a friendship. See, it's in reverse. You want it to be friendly, but friends, it's kind of like more of a surface. If you want a deep connection that lasts the lifetime, moving forward, it's about we have to have those yucky conversations sometimes, right? We have to go through turbulent times sometimes, not all the time, but you have those rough patches. And it's not about walking away from the connection when a rough patch happens, because, that doesn't fulfill your vision of what a happy family, happy home, happy relationship looks like. Or putting your head in the sand and not having those conversations is about having the strength and the courage to say, okay, I'd like to talk about this. I'd like to go deeper. I'd like to have this conversation have a strong foundation instead of just surface level. Yeah, beautiful energy here. And I think that, now that we're in Pluto in Aquarius, it's understanding that people can have different perceptions of situations, whether it's in the relationship or ideas about the world. You don't have to agree, because Aquarius is more about each individual being able to have their own perception of their truth. What is their truth? Their truth is true to them, right? It's not like we all have to agree on every single aspect, but it is about having respect for each other's truth and perception. Not trying to convince people that, their perception isn't right. In the past, you could have felt like, we can't get along unless we agree on everything. Or you could have been attracting in people that are like that. We have to get along. Okay, so here's the tricky part with that, is that Cancer, you're probably the one that was working with how other people wanted the connection to go or to look, right? You were over giving, you were changing, you were allowing yourself to change who you are in order to fit in or to have to be part of the web, right? It may have been really important for you because you are a sign that likes to have happy family, happy home, right? But understanding, okay, we don't all have to agree, but it is about understanding that respect of each other's truth is important, right? So it's not just you respecting them, but they also have to respect your truth. And especially if you're opening up to seeing the world in a different way, there could be people in this situation that are not quite yet accepting of it, right? Of your new view of the world. It's kind of like allowing yourself to drop the burden. Well, they have to accept me for who I am. That is true. I'm not disagreeing with that. But maybe it's your expectation that they have to, or they can't be part of your life. Understanding sometimes people need a little bit of time to see how your new way of living, right, is really helping you to be more authentic to yourself. Maybe it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of sharing why this is important to you, instead of expecting them to accept you the way that you are. Sharing vulnerably why this new way of life is important to you, right? The understanding. Yeah, that's really kind of key to this. All right, let's pull a soul truth card for you. And Cancer, I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. How can I be more kind to myself and offer more grace in this very moment? Yeah, I feel like part of it here, Cancer, is that sometimes when we have these difficult connections, right, or we feel like people aren't accepting us for who we are, we can then also overgive in that situation in order to bring harmony to it. But then the other thing is that then sometimes we are hard on ourselves, right, or hard on the other person, because it's kind of like, well, that didn't work, right? That didn't work. So, it's being kind and compassionate to yourself, allowing yourself to be loving of yourself as you're going through this, as you're trying to build deeper connections in your life, and understanding that part of it is you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Perhaps it's the first time where you're really sharing your feelings instead of feeling your feelings and not sharing them, right? There's a difference. I'm not saying you're not feeling your feelings, but you may not have stepped into that energy of truly sharing them. Yeah, growing our self-love is medicine to this world's broken heart. When you heal, we all heal. When you give yourself more grace, you are able to give the world more grace. Look at yourself through a grace filter. You are meant to be in this moment of your life. Release the inner critic and fill in that hole with your soul's truth, that you are infinite, you are loved, and you are already there. And it's when I was reading, especially that last part, I got the message that if things haven't worked out in previous connections, right? And maybe this is even a connection you really and truly are saying, too toxic, moving on, okay? But there is something about not allowing yourself to take the actions of other people and think that that is a reflection of yourself. Instead, your actions as you move forward are a reflection of yourself, right? Understanding other people's actions and reactions, especially painful ones, are not a reflection of you, Cancer, right? So allow yourself grace and compassion. What people may have labeled you or said you are is not necessarily right, true. They can't tell you who you are. This is the energy of you stepping into, I know who I am, and I'm going to take steps every single day to live my life authentically, right? And allow myself to share myself authentically with people in my life that I want to have in my life for a long time. Yeah, this is a beautiful a sense of healing here. You have the peace card, great achievement. Yeah, you have the courage. You have the courage. I think there is something that your heart truly desires, either in a connection that you're trying to mend, perhaps a web that you are trying to mend, right? Or there is a sense of peace, of knowing I did the best I can. I've learned a lot about myself through a past connection, and I'm willing to take that wisdom and move forward and meet new people, bring new connections into my life and build them, right? Have a sense of building those connections with this new kind of insight and wisdom, having a strong foundation instead of just making it look like a pretty web, making sure that you're really spinning right, a web that will stand the test of time. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Much love and light to you. Thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you check out my Aquarius Season 30-day challenge. It has been a lot of fun, and I hope to see you again really soon. Much love and light to you. Bye for now.